Welcome to the Leavecast. We are a first-time reader show based on the big fantasy series Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and joining me as always is the pruner of hedges, the opener of mail, the father of five, Brother Dan.
How do you do? Can you hear me okay?
I do hear you okay, but your thing is all like getting glitchy. We'll see how this goes. You got like fun little lines going on.
Yeah, I noticed that. All right. But this is good. I just threw a mic on. It's good.
Yeah. Sounds great. Right. We will carry on. Ladies and germs, humans on all the spectrums. Welcome. This is brought to you by The Way of the Leaf. We're covering chapters 3 through 6 of Towers of Midnight, and this is episode 189. Sorry we are a little late. Busy watching the Dusty Wheel. Now, as we all know, we've moved to Wednesdays. We're going to see how this goes. But yes, Kay Sedai has started an improv class. She's doing local improv. And that happens on Tuesday nights, and we couldn't move it any other time, so we are supporting her in her endeavors, and we are moving around it. But speaking of Case Today, she is not here today, but she is live on Discord where she's caring for our daughter and several other reasons. But yes, we are moving on. This is the thumbnail. Actually, she looks absolutely insane in that picture. I should change that. All right, Brother Dan's frozen. Let's bring in our first time reader. All right.
Hello.
There he is. Dan, I think you fixed it. Everything's fixed. You look great.
Fixed.
Hopefully.
Look great, sound great.
Fingers are crossed.
Joshy Poo, as Kay would call you. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Like I said,
awesome.
Still the same for the show. A little bit of a rough week, but all good.
All right, yeah, we're here to
Hi, Matt Stagger.
Yeah.
Glenn, Patrick, all.
Everyone's here. These are the true. Thank you guys for all switching from Tuesdays to Wednesdays. I know you all like plan your lives around us, and for us to just pull the rug out and then for you to be like bouncing back, amazing.
Very impressive.
It is very impressive.
Josh Grox. Speaking of Grok, like, these are some good chapters, Dan.
These are some good chapters.
They are really good, and I'm a little bummed that Kay's not here because I really want her input on some of these things. So maybe we can revisit next time she's on. But yeah, there's some good chapters here indeed. Some points of view that we don't normally get. I don't know if we've gotten really a Morghast in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been some
we
time.
got some Forsaken.
I don't know if we've had one since she was under compulsion. And how cool is it that we have an example of someone coming out from under compulsion by their own will? Like, is that a talent? Will that come back to be a thing? Like, does Elaine have that too? And will that come back to be a thing? I don't know. I was wondering about that today when I was thinking
what kind of damage, what kind of lingering damage is there? Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't
unfurl the weaves, but just come out of it. I mean, I guess was the dude who compulsed her, was he vaporized from the pattern? No, right?
He was.
Okay. So maybe but she remembers Gabriel, it seems like, in this chapter. He's not been entirely annihilated from history, and not annihilated far enough back that her experiences with him didn't happen. She still chose to not be queen. Yeah, there's so much here that like will never be answered, unfortunately. So many questions.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, Sanderson likes
sure, but it sure seems unlikely that in the next 1.78 books we get answers to all of the possible things that could be.
You bring up a good point. When Ram-Salam, Ram-a-lam-a-ding-dong, when he was compulsed by Arangar, and went down and talked to Rand, he's like, "Yep, they're all good." And they delved him. Did the Balefire remove the compulsion as if it never occurred? I don't remember that.
I feel like yes, like he was undamaged by it, because it wasn't like when Nine untangled the compulsion from the boy, who then died. Ding Dong seems to just like be his normal self all of a sudden. Ram Shalama Ding Dong.
Ram Shalama.
So who put the bop in the bop shoe? Yeah.
Well, we are here, Ryan, as instead of Tuesdays, we're here Wednesday with the Leafcast to talk about Towers of Midnight. It is book 13 of The Wheel of Time, written by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. We're talking 4 chapters today, chapters 3 through 6. Chapter 3 is called The Amerlin's Anger. It's in Egwin POV, and it has the whale bloopy, little whale bloop, 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 bloop.
Yep.
And she is just floating in blackness. So this is her. This is the place she goes to now. This is her sensory deprivation tank.
Basically, yeah. It's
yeah. She's Joe Roganing.
It says recently she started coming here to float and think.
Yeah.
She's like, oh man, it's bro, you gotta try it. You gotta come to my house and try it. I have one in my garage.
All right, so of all the talents and abilities that we have learned so far, I think I would choose this one.
Dreamwalking?
Oh yeah.
Being a dreamer?
Oh yeah. Like
Ryan, we're talking inappropriately about just what you could do with this dream. So she avoids Gawain's dream because it's a sex dream, but she's like, yeah, I could slip in there. She goes, her own dream is a sex dream, and she doesn't want it. She eventually tells Gawain not to sleep in front of her door, partially because she's having all these sex dreams and she doesn't want to pull him in,
right?
Have sex.
Wait.
But dream sex would be so much better than Gawain real sex.
Wait, why?
Because Ryan,
have you seen him?
You could just make his penis bigger. You could. We talked about this.
Your
gag reflex would go away.
Dan,
You're suddenly super flexible in the dream world. Oh, what? I could do the splits like no problem. Okay.
Bigger's not necessarily better, Dan.
But I'm saying if she could sample. She could do whatever she wants. She could be poly with the same guy.
Well, she can.
All right, yeah. So Chad is already going. Dream sex is not always better than real sex. Hey, let's not kink shame. But KSI is not happy about that comment. No disagree.
I don't know how. Well, okay, yeah, I'll go here as a puppet. I have, when I was younger, I did awake to a crazy, as they call it, a nocturnal emission. And holy cow, guys. Holy cow. I still remember this thing.
You hit the ceiling?
I was Lionel Richarding. Yeah. Just dancing on the ceiling. So I'm all about if that's what Wolf Dream.
That was the boomerest reference I think I've ever heard you make.
Guys, I still remember it.
All right, I gotta up my
What a
dream.
feeling.
Oh, what a feeling.
So there's that. Yes, you can literally enter any person's dream that you are even remotely attracted to, do whatever without consequence. Apparently, is there so? But Josh, is there a consequence? Like, if I were to jump into K-Si's dream, fuck her blindly.
Blindly?
Like
you would have no eyes, like a mirror draw.
Till she's blind, you mean?
No, fuck her till she's blind.
That's what you meant to say. Yes.
Yeah. Am I doing harm on her? Like, what's your thoughts, Josh?
I mean, it's a dream, right? Now, if you're like Perrin and you're too fully in the dream, so how do you make sure that people aren't in Tel'aran'rhiod before you go doing those things to them?
These are good questions. Also, if you could die in your dream, if you come in your dream, you're coming, right? Like, it's like...
You know what it sounds like?
Bella! Sexualizing Bella is really fun. Sexualizing Bella.
Rolling over in her chair at the moment.
So Dan's saying that if he were a dream walker, he would have consensual sex with Bella.
Ryan, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Why? Because I'm not into horse, baby.
No, but I mean, I'm sure. So let's say you're hot. Let's say you're a young bull, and some
Oh my!
I don't know. Let's say some Stretcher, her name is, comes bounding up.
Too hard.
Is there anything here? Yeah, you're here too strong, young bull.
Okay.
And she's presenting, as they call it in the zoos.
So
I mean, is that
so
wrong?
you're saying you're saying I go up, I sniff her ass,
Yeah.
and I just can't stop myself. This is cross species. You said a young buck,
young bull. He's
bull.
saying if Perrin, if this was Perrin, is this what Perrin's concerned
Are you
about?
saying I'm gonna have sex with Perrin, Dan?
Is this one of Perrin's concerns? Yes, is that he's gonna have if he has sex with a wolf in the wolf dream, is he there too strong? Is he become gnome? I guess.
All right, so these are good questions. I don't believe he's crossed that path, right? Like he's either wanting to kill something or not kill something. We have yet to see the axiom that says, we have yet to see the erotic axiom. But the way he describes killing, especially in these chapters, he might be turned on.
Yeah,
and maybe that's why Hopper is jumps on it. He's like, bitch,
he's like, that's
too strong.
Too strong, bro.
Too strong. Too hard.
Put that thing away. My wife was watching a movie that I watched over her shoulder for 10 or 15 minutes and paced away. That had Nicolas Cage as someone that everyone was having dreams about. And they would see him, and they're like, oh my God, I've been having dreams about you for the last month. And some of them are sex dreams. Some of them are just inane, stupid little dreams. Some of them are he's a murderer dreams and stuff.
Dan, I'm sorry. Nothing you're saying is better than what DK
You're right.
just...
You're right. No, it's
God, you gave me
all right, no.
If they would see you and you would be like that Nicolas Cage character, but you actually went into their dreams and did all that stuff.
Yeah, so I feel like I have had dreams this is what's is it just a dream? I've had dreams that haunt me. I've had dreams that I can for 20 years I ruminated and worried about myself because of that. I'm am I a psychopath because I had this dream, right? I'm good.
answer's yes.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I-
no.
I've never had that dream, Ryan.
Obviously.
Look, I took a bunch of mushrooms. I'm good. I'm not a psychopath. I'm not a psychopath. But
Right. Josh, that's exactly what a psychopath is.
That's exactly what a psychopath is saying.
see, all right. So, all
They
right.
convince themselves before, and then they convince. All right, go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry.
No, but yeah, but like for you to go into someone's dreams and then manipulate the dream, I feel like that's, even though it's like fun, everyone's coming like crazy, like
Everyone's coming.
it's just like it's like like welcome
Doesn't
to
this get into,
Compound.
like, the territory of ethics. I mean, I feel like
That's yeah. Let's get in the territory of ethics, Josh.
the Dreamweavers and Dreamwalkers and Egwene have an ethical stance. And part of their training her was to impart this ethics to her. I feel like we got that. That was part of her, quote, education by the Dreamwalkers, by the Aiel Wise Ones, right? While she was learning to dreamwalk.
And I don't think she's going in and like assaulting unknown people, like Ryan's suggesting. And Gawain is obviously dreaming about her. She's just slipping in, and I don't know. Is she watching Gawain's dream about her, which would be really meta.
I mean, it's very meta and possibly really hot.
Really hot. Well, maybe not though.
Well, so I do want to get into the textual analysis here just for a
weird.
second. So,
Please analyze my text.
Gawain.
Please be textual.
She turned about looking through the expanse. Recently, she'd started coming here to float and think. That's the
Drink.
the tank. The dreams of all people, the dreams of all the people here, some from her world, some from shadows of it.
What does that
What
mean?
the fuck does that mean? Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so like, is that Aelfin and Eilfin? Is that
Is she getting Ogier dreams?
Is that other aliens? Like, what is that fucking Mashadar?
Could she be seeing her shadow self's dreams? I mean, how else would she know that there's shadow people
here? Some from her world, some from shadows of it. Reminded her why she fought. From shadows, dreams from shadows of her world.
Reminded her of why she fought.
To save humanity. Why she fought to save humanity.
Yeah, right, yeah. Like the most positive death metal band.
Roll!
Fight!
Why we fought?
I mean, I don't know. I underline that shadows of her world. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, this, I feel like Brandon Sanderson is like dipping his pen in Robert Jordan's ink and like writing this here, but like leaving us very like just this open hole in the narrative right here where it's like, I don't actually know what's going on here.
Right. It's not defined, and she assumes that we should know.
Mm-hmm.
But is there, okay, well, like.
Okay, so if we read the last sentence, she must never forget that there was an entire world outside the White Tower's walls. We could backwards interpret that sentence to mean that her world is what's inside the White Tower's walls, and therefore everything else outside of it are shadows of her world. But that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel like it gets to the bone of what he's getting.
No, because she addresses it in the beginning of the paragraph. She says she turned about looking through the expanse.
Yeah.
So she's talking about the expanse.
I know, and so it's interesting.
All right, so Christian Rapper is saying, "Hey, that's easy. It's from people from Portal Worlds."
And that's like the Aelfin and the Aelfin.
But how does she know this, Christian Rapper?
That's exactly. Like, is like shadow selves just her like plebeian interpretation of like accessing Portal World? She doesn't have the language for it.
Or is she trying to say that the Aes Sedai only serve them? Like, one way you could read this entire paragraph Okay, so the very last sentence of the paragraph is the perfect purpose of the Aes Sedai was to serve that world. That world referring to the one outside of the White Tower's walls.
Uh-huh.
That world also referring to the shadows of her world, which is the stuff inside.
We're assuming that she knows things about metaphysics, though, that we know that I don't know that she knows. She never went through a portal stone that we know of. She did the ways. She's been into a steading.
But she does have access to the 13th repository or whatever. The 13th
Yeah, the
Right, so
suppository.
now
Yeah.
she can just identify these as like the 13th butt thing.
I push this in. Do I go to the portal worlds?
I mean, are you thinking, Josh, that it's more?
Pill or blue?
So Kay is saying it's more like shadow self, like Jungian shadow self, but in dream form.
I hear where Chris is coming from. Absolutely.
Is that what you're thinking? He's like maybe metaphorically talking about, or is he like talking about something very like metaphysical?
Well, I mean, I suppose from a Jungian sense, the dream world could be considered a shadow world of the real world. We never really found out. I mean, we haven't gone to Tel'aran'rhiod other than very briefly in like 5 books at this point, 4 books. Like the dream rings have basically just like there was that whole thing about like get me all the dream rings or you're gonna like. There's so many loose threads right now, and Tel'aran'rhiod was such an important part of the narrative like 7 or 8 books ago. It's weird that it's like literally non-existent here. Other than the Wolf Dream, right? The Wolf Dream is like our one reference to Tel'aran'rhiod that we get in this early part of the book.
Well, I mean, we did get the like the gift of the Dream Shard. Which
Ryan, let's not get ahead of it. Well, we will get there, but we're on page 1, so there's a lot to get through. So let's actually continue through. So Egwene is floating in the dream. She talks to Nynaeve. She's like, "Get your buns. I need to talk to you. Stop avoiding me, dummy. It's important. I have a Taishar." There's actually quite a few in this chapter. Here's the first one. Quote, "Slip back into her body."
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, nice.
Oh man.
And then it says everything shook. So she slips back into her body. She's currently having a sex dream with Gawain. She's like, I'm just gonna go do that. And then it says everything shook. And then Gawain goes away. He was dressed in
so there is this
ribbons.
what the fuck moment where she talks to Nynaeve in her dream, and the dream shudders.
Right. It
Yeah,
says,
what is that?
Nynaeve, it's time to stop avoiding me. There's work to be done, and I have news for you. It says the dream seemed to shudder, and Egwene pulled back as it vanished. So she woke her up, I think, because it vanishes.
All right, Luz. I don't know if I want to hug Luz or punch him in the face.
Luz, Luz, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Everything. Oh, go ahead.
This bit about the wise ones too. She considered trying to contact the wise ones, but decided against it. How should she deal with them? Question mark. The first thing was to keep them from thinking they were being dealt with.
Right. Yeah.
So good.
Right. There goes
Mark
all
of
those
a true
ethics,
leader,
right?
Egwene.
Thatcher, we're on chapter 3.
We're on chapter 3.
Yeah. You've not missed
Chapter
much.
3, page 2 of it.
Okay, so page 74 in the
Page 74, yes, on this book.
All right, so she dreams about the 13 towers.
Mm-hmm. They
Pretty
crumble.
fascinating.
There's only 6 remaining.
Okay, so we know that the Shanshan had a civil war. So we can kind of work backwards to that scene that we saw at the beginning of the book in Shandar. That only six of the 13 houses that each of those towers represented, assuming that's what it is, still survive, right?
Okay. Yeah, and some fell, others grew taller.
And one of them grew super duper duper tall, right? Which presumably is what's her fucks? Matt's wife. 2 on. Yeah.
Yeah, it says it was cracked, collapsing most of the way to the ground, but then it recovered and grew tallest of all. The end. And then suddenly she's looking at a nest. There's a bunch of eaglets. One of the eaglets turns into a snake and starts like devouring them, but all the eaglets don't even realize it. And she knows what that means.
Yeah, that's the Masana within the White Tower, right?
Yeah, serpent was one of the Forsaken, it says. And then her vision changes again. It says, quote, she saw an enormous sphere made of the finest crystal. There were cracks in it, and it was being held together by ropes.
What? So what are these 23 stars?
23 enormous stars shining down on it where
I mean,
sat
23 is the number of the Illuminati. It is the number
and LeBron James.
And
LeBron
Michael
James
Jordan.
And Michael Jordan, yeah.
Everywhere.
It also numerologically becomes 5.
Emmett Smith.
Wait. What? 23 becomes 5?
2 plus 3 is 5.
That seems like rudimentary.
In numerology, you produce the numbers that way, you know? No, you don't know.
No, yeah. Why would I?
Why would
I?
Because you're witchy as fuck, Ryan.
It's fooey.
It's woo.
It's hawk. It's woo.
Yeah,
that's hella woo.
Wooey.
It's hawk wooey.
Is that Haktua? So he cuts the ropes. The last rope breaks, and it says the beautiful globe falling in pieces. Rand shook his head. And then I have a couple more Taishars right off the bat, guys. Quote, Egwin gasped, came.
Nice.
All right, another one.
Yeah. All right, I like this. It's the first 23andMe DNA test.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
And then Christian Rapper says, but 32 works also, though.
Oh, that's
yes, that's right.
Franco Harris.
But no one talks about 32.
OJ Simpson
113
was 32.
and 311.
Wait, OJ Simpson was 32 when he killed that?
His number's 32 when he played on the Bills.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, there he goes.
Quote, calming herself, she reached down. How do you calm yourself? You reach down?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Taisha.
Tree.
Thank you. So she's like, I know what the second one was. I don't know what the first and the third. I think I know what the third one, but she doesn't find out till later. But the second one, she's like, all right, it's got to be Masana in the tower. And she wakes up. Wake up! Sylviana is like, hey, Dragon Reborn's here to see ya. And then it goes to Swan. Anything else in the Egwin chapter?
Okay, let's see. Dreams are not foretellings. They didn't show what would happen, but what could. I think that was an important point.
Mm.
I think you're an important point.
You're an important point.
Urine.
Urine, an important point.
And an important point. So yeah, like, any thoughts?
About dreaming being what could, not what would happen, but what could. I mean, I just think that's interesting. I know we've talked about that in the past. So
yeah. So it's kind of like a soft prophecy, like you can play frisbee and then you can play frisbee with those like felt like rings. Yeah.
So we can keep moving down.
Okay. We get to Swan, and Swan just found out that Rand is here, and she's like, what? How the fuck? And Captain Chubby, Chubbane. What do you call him? Captain Chubb. Captain Chubb nodded. He's like, yeah. I don't know. He just showed up and said, I'm the Dragon Reborn. I want to talk to Egwin, please. And so we let him in. I don't know. We found out that Swan hasn't seen Rand in 2 years. So we get that sort of time frame.
Oh wait, how many ropes were there? There were 7, right?
There were 23. Oh no, the 23 stars held together by ropes. It did not say how many.
Oh, it doesn't say how many. Okay.
It says one at a time, chopping them free. The last one parted and the
So,
spirit began to break.
I mean, Rand holding the woodsman's axe, I mean, given what we learned at the end of this chapter, it does seem like this is referring to the Great Lord being freed from his prison by Rand breaking the seals.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one last bit that I wanted to mention.
Do you think that Egwene is reading her dream correctly with the serpent?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, she's certainly interpreting it through her own lens of thinking that her whole life has been seeing the White Tower eating its own tail,
right,
for the last year or months. So it makes sense that that's the crystal by which she views this particular dream. But, yeah, she felt the meaning of it. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess we have to. Do we trust that she knows how to use her ability?
Yeah, right. Josh, what do you think of this question? Wahog quotes, "Light burn Lightus," Swan thought. "If not for her, we'd have him safely in Aes Sedai care long ago." Is that true or delusion? Good question.
Delusion? I mean, I don't think it's true. I think Swan is going through a period of self-growth here that I don't know, there's some interesting stuff that goes on here where Swan is starting to have like self-awareness around her own failings and like going through doing the work to like become a new person in the face of her failings. I think this is like a flake. It's like this is a thought that's flaking off of that.
Like an old vestige, like vestigial thought. Oh yeah.
That's how I interpreted it, but it's a good question.
It is.
This is a place where it'd be nice to have both ladies here to answer.
and like we're experiencing like two different like super powerful women basically like debased, like Elida and Morghese. Right? Elida has found like a position of influence at least and impact, but Morghese is literally serving tea.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting contrast.
It is.
Did we jump to Morghese?
We're jumping, Dan. Whatever gets us done by 9-11 p.m.
All right, I got a tie chart.
Oh yes, those are great.
Glistened as if wet. Chubb inhaled sharply.
Chubb?
Chubbane, but Chubb.
Inhaled sharply. Okay.
So we find out it's been 2 years since he's seen Rand.
Yeah, 2 years.
Another Taishar quote: "You came faster than I'd assumed." Let me say it again. You came faster than I assumed.
Hey, Josh, when you saw that 2 years, like hard point, like what did you think? Were you thinking we're 2 years out? Yeah, get down there, bitch.
Yeah.
What, Ryan?
Yeah, get down there. So yeah, Dan, the 2 years.
It's been 2 years since Swan saw Rand, so I guess we have that connection now. I mean,
so
I'm not
now
sure
we have
what
a
Ryan's
hard.
asking, but
No, I'm saying like we have a hard like timeline. We've talked loosely, like how long do you think this has been? Like how, like yeah. Now we have 2 years.
And where was Swan when she saw him? When they brought in Andor?
No, I think. Well, I think when
he
he
saw him
was.
and he had the glow around him.
No, that was up north. So she went and visited Moraine when they were like in, I want to say Candor or something.
Okay.
And they're like, the Everland's here, boy. And then that's when he walked in doing the cat's walk and shit. That was up by the Borderlands, I think.
Thank you, Dana.
Faldara.
Yeah.
Oh,
Faldara.
Dan Lou. Yes.
Oh yeah, the Great Hunt. Yeah, yeah.
Faldara. So I think that's the last time she saw him. I got another Taishar quote. To swallow, I did well. So Swan is hanging out and Bryn comes up. Gareth is like, hey baby.
That might be my favorite, Dan.
Thanks.
I love how everyone points out how calm Rand is. It's like the word calm is used to describe him like 7 times in this chapter.
Right. Well, and I mean, just kind of consider just what the reputation of Rand was, that he hated Aes Sedai. He was like, he wanted to kill them all. He was like, oh, I don't trust you. I'm gonna throw you further than I trust you, and I'm gonna throw. I'm a pretty good thrower of Aes Sedai by now. And so he comes in and just is like all pieced out and hippie, and everyone's like, Jesus, what the fuck?
Right. What happened to him? So I love this comment that Bryn pops out here. Yes, he said, and so she says, you came faster than I'd seen me be able to, she said. And I do not have a, quote, concerned face, Gareth Bryn. I'm Aes Sedai. My very nature is to be in control of myself and my surroundings. And he says, yes. And yet, the more time I spend around Aes Sedai, the more I wonder about that. Are they in control of their emotions? Or do those emotions just never change? If one is always concerned, one will always look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Score 1 for Gareth Bryn.
Yeah. Swish. And he walks up and he's like, yeah, and he starts giving her a little neck rub. Starts doing the Joe Biden, sniffing her hair. He's like, yeah. No, he didn't do Joe Biden. He, but he is, like just kind of giving her support. And she says, you know, I always thought I was going to be the one to talk to him. It's really weird. And it's hard for me to accept that I'm not doing it.
I'm not the one up there.
And so that's
he's the best person to be in this position. Yeah, I did, you know. Oh, I don't be like that, growling. She growled, looking at him. I don't regret it.
He growled, yeah.
Yeah. He frowned. It's for the best. Though it twisted her inside to knots to admit it. For all her tyranny and foolishness, it is good to let her remove me, because that's what led us to Egwene. She'll do better than I could have. It's hard to swallow. I did as well as Amerlin, but I couldn't do that. Lead by presence instead of force, uniting instead of dividing.
And his response is, I'm proud of you. And she's like, oh, fuck off. And he's like, no, baby.
You can't hide your goodness from me, honey.
Yeah, come on, baby.
So this literal like little mini segment bothers me.
This little Gareth Bryn and Swan
just like
lovers?
just like how it's just so like spelled out, like, oh, I don't know. I remember
I feel like this is emotional intelligence. This is like Swan actually. Okay, this is Brandon Sanderson channeling his own emotional intelligence into Robert Jordan's very not emotionally intelligent.
Okay, like it's like emotional intelligence.
I get you that it's like bad script writing, but you remember, I like Star Trek.
I know, it's amazing. I know. Josh will watch a movie and I'll be like, oh, the dialogue was crazy, the acting was really bad. He's like, I don't see that.
But the story, did you see that story on him?
Yeah, like he's like, the story is all, yeah.
But
like,
what Deadpool represents is actually the existential nature.
No, I'm not going to make excuses.
Okay. So Rand is
Thank you,
walking
Dana.
through. He's surrounded. He has 26 sisters around him. So many warders, like the whole armed guard
The
is
whole
around him.
White Tower is basically like fucking channeling like.
And
with their
Rand's just
swords
walking. He
on
sees
their-
Swan, and he walks over. He's like, "Hey, Swan Sanche, long time no see. You look different." She's like, "Oh yeah."
So how does he recognize her?
Hmm.
How did
Good
he do it?
question.
I was wondering about that. Like, no, like many people who knew her much better than him didn't recognize her in her current state. How does he recognize her now?
Nice. That's a good question. Not everyone can. She looks like a different person. You're right. But Rand looked right in her eyes and walked right up to her. He's like, Swan Sanche, you took an arrow for me. Did I ever thank you? She's like, well. He's like, well, whatever. You have my thanks. That was rad. Thanks. Rand seems to have no filter. He is like one of these smart guys that whatever comes to his head, he just comes out his mouth, and no one knows exactly what he's talking about.
Dan, obviously you've never like spent time with a guru in India. This is classic, you know.
So, I mean, is this like the saint, the halo around the saint head? You know, that's like what I always think about when I hear it described the way it is. It's like these people are like to Varenness is just sainthood. It's like John the Baptist with the fucking golden
Yeah, the golden
aura
dome.
around his head, you know.
All right, so what's the word for that? Is the golden like
It's
what do astronauts wear? Like helmet?
Oh, helmet, gold helmet.
I mean, an aura, I suppose, but it would be the spiritualist term for it.
The head aura?
The
Drink.
head aura.
Little autistic Rand.
Tiana, a what is she? A brown, a yellow? I don't know. She's someone. She runs up. She's like, Rand, I have some mail for you. I promised I'd deliver this. It was a small letter with a red seal. She's like, this is for you. Rand's like, what the fuck? Okay, all right. I put it in his pocket.
All right, what do you think, Josh? What's that letter?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's see.
I feel like if your week was less stressful, you would know this. And I forgive you. I pre-forgive you,
the
and
red seal.
I post
Moiraine? Maybe?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Rand's like, hey, listen, do me a favor, take care of Egwene when I'm gone. I'm not sure if she's gonna like this. And then he just walks into the hall, and everyone's like, oh, we gotta follow our prisoner. Then it goes to Egwene. Anything about Swan here?
It's probably, was Matt's letter from Varen sealed with a red seal?
All right, yeah. So Kay side jumps in the chat. Is it a Varen letter?
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I think so too, Kay. Yeah.
So Varen went to Tiana and said, "Hey, give this to the Dragon Reborn when you see him."
Yeah, she has.
Tiana?
Yeah. Give me hope, Tiana. Give me hope, Tiana. Give me hope, Tiana.
yeah.
The morning come. I need a beer. I'll be right back.
All right.
Do your best to calm Egwene when I'm done, he said to Swan.
He enters through Egwene's point of view.
Yeah.
It starts off with a tie shard. It says, quote, hairs bristled on Egwene's arms as Rand came. He came into the room, and this is not the Rand al'Thor that she knew. He walks in, gives her a nod, says, "What's up, baby? That emerald stole looks pretty rad on you." She's like,
So, if Swan can see Tavernus, Egwin doesn't have a fucking halo. That blows our theory out of the water that the three girls from the two rivers, well, the two girls from the three rivers and Elaine are Tavern.
It does it.
Unless he only can see them around men for some reason, which there's no indication of.
Which is no indication of.
Have we ever seen a Tavern woman in the book? And
we have heroes. We have female heroes of the Horn. I'm not sure if that's the same. I'm not sure. That's a good point. You imagine if like a talent, if you're an Aes Sedai, female Aes Sedai, you could see male. And if you're a male Aes Sedai, you could see female Tavern.
Be interesting.
How many people do you think has this talent? How many people like does Rand glow to?
What's that?
How many people have this talent? So if you have a talent with a capital T, it means there's got to be enough people that have this ability that it's like in the books.
I mean, I guess there's no reason to think that she can see a female. There are a lot of things. Well, so female channelers can't feel male channelers channeling and vice versa. Although Rand seems to detect it, which is weird. Right? So could Swan see a female Tavern? Or can she only see male Tavern?
It's a very good question. I don't have that answer for you. And if I did, I'm not sure I'd give it to you, bro.
Yeah, I understand.
Tell you to read and fuck off.
Read and fuck
Lovingly. Off. Read and fuck off. Egwin asks Rand, "What happened to you?" And he says, "I was broken, and then remarkably, I was reforged."
Okay, so the sword metaphor here can't be missed, right? Like, is he now Kalendor? So Rand's had several swords. He starts with Tam Althor's sword.
Tam Althor.
Then he's gifted the hilted the sword in the jeweled hilt by Avienda.
Correct.
Then he somehow finds, in theory, Luz Theron's sword in a box somewhere or something. Like,
it was an old sword. We don't know.
The curved blade that he's carrying now. Whatever happened? The jeweled sword got broken?
Yes, I think yes. Okay. It did.
And now, if Rand is a sword, he only has one hand. It means he only now has one Heron mark too.
He's got a Unimark.
He's got a Uniheron. I don't know. I did get caught up thinking about for a while about the sword metaphor, the nature of the sword metaphor here, or at least the blacksmith metaphor, even if not sword. Heron was forging things in the last chapters.
Now Rand like failures
forged, right? Like, I get that it's a common metaphor for like being transformed, but the cat is snoring so loud. I hope you guys can't hear it.
I cannot, but I wish I did.
I wish I did too.
Yeah. Anyways, keep on going. I love the connection between Cadsuane here and the reforging too, and him having to lift her exile, like with his wisdom, the wisdom of having been reforged. All of this just said Kalendor to me.
Okay. Awesome.
Like Rand becoming Kalendor. So then does that mean that he can be controlled by two women? Yeah.
You know, with that said, is he carrying a sword now? Is there one on his hip? I don't think it mentions one.
So.
It says so. Rand goes on a little slow.
Wait, doesn't Catswain have Kalimdor?
She does.
She does.
Yeah.
Clearly
Apparently.
going to play a role in the last battle, and its flaws are going to somehow probably be used to their advantage. I have no idea how that happens, but
She's talking to Rand. Rand's like, I was struggling to avoid. I said, I think I was trying too hard, is what he says. He says,
Try too hard. We've all been there.
been there, done that.
We've all been there. It never works. Gotta breathe. Gotta relax. focus on-
Egwin's like, hey, Rand, we're going to have to like check you out first. You're going to have to. And he's like, baby, I know it. I hate to say no. I hate to do this to you in front of your people.
in front of everyone.
In front of everyone. But
Yeah.
I'm way too busy for all your bullshit.
Ain't nobody got time for that, Egwin.
Was sorry, just
Ain't
does
nobody got time for
Logain
that.
have the same power Swan does?
Who?
Doesn't Logain have the talent to see Taverin?
Mm-hmm.
He sees Rand. Okay, well there goes my theory that female Chandlers can't see female Taverin. Fuck. I'm so mad. I really want Egwin.
Hey, Rain, thank you. I'm sorry.
When the
Josh,
rain
whatever you're saying is not important. Rain, period. If you, anytime, anywhere, we're here for you, rain, period.
When the rain comes.
Red
Yeah, so-
rain is falling down.
I guess this does sadly validate that the girls are not Taverin. Makes me sad.
We have not
Oh.
heard that she sees a glow around them. I will give you that.
And I don't think Logain has seen a glow around any of them either.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
So Rand, he starts talking.
Wait,
He's like,
Dan, let him stay with this. This is a big moment. He's been
Like,
like,
I'm wrong. I'm wrong about so many things. Come on, Ryan. We can move on.
oh, I mean, I don't know why you gotta
What
cut
do you
your.
want to talk about, Rand? Keep going then.
Wrong.
I
Loser.
no. I mean, if that's how you feel, like, no, that's fine. But also, like, just the implications of that. They're not Taverin. Like, that's a big deal. Like, you've been like,
So they're being strung along by the three boys. And it just feels unfair that it's just three boys.
but you also felt that if they were Taverin, that would undermine their accomplishments. If they're not Taverin,
True.
then they're just
There are some
they're
ethical-
rallying people around them. They're making shit happen just by being badass bitches,
It's true.
right? So, like, I mean, like, I'm just, Dan, go suck a big one, and like, I'm
All right. I will. I'll be back.
Oh, he's fine.
I'm fine, like checking in with you on that, because like it's a big deal. Like, that means all of them are not, right?
So are we to the puppet section?
Not yet. Almost.
I've hated you before, Ram said, turning back to Egwin. I felt a lot of emotions in recent months. It seems that from the very moment Maureen came to the Two Rivers, I've been struggling to avoid Ace and I's strings of control.
Oh.
And yet I've allowed other strings, more dangerous strings, to wrap around me unseen.
Yeah.
Do those... this is where I need another first-time reader here. Are the other strings, more dangerous strings, referring to the true power that arrived at him via his connection to Ishamael / Moradin?
Oh, yeah.
Could they be his feelings towards his vindication
one?
towards like the Shanshin?
Which was the Sanshin, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's about Moradin and the true power, and like, because there is in the last book, was it last show that we had the sphere of light around him rather than the sphere of darkness?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clear that he saw through that and shed the Dark One's touch on him, and that's why the apples grow back, right? Because he's now the power of the Creator rather than the power of the Great Lord. So,
But he's uncertain of what his power is. He doesn't know how long his effects
how
will
long it'll
last.
right? Well, of
He's
course.
like, you better get this shit now. It's not
Should
gonna-
last for a while. I'm here.
Go get the apples.
Yeah.
Could he have reached this status or state or whatever we're gonna call this? Like, and I'm interested to hear what you're gonna call this. But like, could he have done this if he had not touched the one power?
The true power?
The true power. So, fuck, I fuck that shit up all the time.
No, I think the true power. Well, maybe I answered that question too quickly. I think that he had to be. So this is. I mean, we made the parallel. Here, baby. We made the parallel to Rand's 40 Days in the Desert. In that, like, when he was on the mountaintop, when he was on Dragon Mount, that was him, like, coming back from the desert.
Uh-huh.
And so I think without the temptation of the true power being there, I don't know that he would. Because remember, he at the end, I think it was at the end of in the last couple chapters of the last book, there were those scenes where he was like struggling with the temptation to dip into this new well of power and use it to like solve his problems, right?
Yep.
And he doesn't. And I think by shedding that seduction, that opportunity, without that, he wouldn't have gotten to the crux point where he needed to heal, where he ended up on the top of Dragon Mount in desperation and shed the thing.
Okay, so talk about that in light of his relationship with Tam.
Yeah, so also without threatening to kill Tam, right? Like the father son, and again, this gets back to the like Christian kind of symbolism that's kind of embedded in this, right? Of like the Messiah feeling betrayed by the father, trying to kill him, and then like fleeing to the mountaintop to have a virtual death, a virtual crucifixion.
What do you mean by virtual? Like
virtual in the sense of like no one else is doing it to them; he's doing it to himself, and the suffering is internal.
Okay, not like on like camera.
No.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
And then he's able to, in that moment of madness, have the insight by doing the inner work that allows him to become then the savior and like become a power of the light again. That's how I see what happened.
Yeah, I love
like
it.
I'm not doing a super great job describing it because it's more nuanced than that, but that's sort of like high order way that it worked out, I think.
I think you're doing a phenomenal job explaining it. And I hope everyone in chat appreciates this. You're fucking amazing, Josh.
So
He
it's
fucks amazingly.
So yeah, I mean, it's like he's been reforged. He's now a weapon of, or he's now filled with light instead of with darkness, and calm instead of hardness and stress and like fear, right? He's no longer instead of saying the litany of names of women that he's killed, he thanks a woman who put herself in front of him and took an literal arrow.
Oh, amazing, Josh. Yeah.
Right? Like,
yep.
It's like this total transformation. And I mean, we said it, and Carissa Kay was agreeing too. Like, he's just a different character in this book, like from the moment that it starts, you know?
So you had all these thoughts about what the last battle would be. Like, does this change how you think it's going to end with?
I still think Egwin is the hero. I mean, ultimately, I think Rand is the figurehead, but his work was this shit. His work was cleansing the taint, figuring out how to break the Dark One's the boar, figuring out how to bring the Dark One back, the Great Lord back into the world, so that working together with the women channelers, they can together, capture him for longer term, in theory.
Whoa. Okay, bring him back into the boar.
Well, that's what he talks about with her right here, right? That he's going to break the last seals, so that the shield, or whatever, what is it called? The Dark One's prison, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that he could like do it right this time. Right?
Do it right this time with
yeah.
the female channelers. Yeah.
Yeah, he says, the last time I tried to seal the boar, I was forced to do it without the help of the women. That was part of what led to the disaster. He says, I believe that Saidin and Saidar must both be used. She says, which are you? He says, I'm both, Egwin. I remember him, Luce Theron. I can see his entire life, every desperate moment. I see it like a dream, but a clear dream, my own dream. It's part of me.
Mm-hmm.
He says in 1 month's time, he's going to Shio Ghul and he's breaking the last of the seals, and he asks for help. She's like, you can't do that. He's like, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Meet me right before and I'll give you my terms. Oh, go ahead, Ren.
No, and later on we see her like in her own POV being like, how do we stop this? Like,
Right.
What do you see happening, Josh, with this dynamic?
I see Egwin and Nynaeve and Elaine and what's the one that the lady with Kalendor? Fuck, my brain is not working.
Cat Swain.
Cat Swain coming together with other allies to try to convince him, and then him convincing them instead to work together, and that ultimately probably using Kalendor in some way to like trick or like manipulate the dark side through its vulnerabilities. I think somehow Kalendor, the vulnerabilities, Elaine, and Min, I guess the whole kind of crew of women taking on Rand, but then them all coming to consensus and like kind of going with his plan, but doing it by their own volition because they start to see his way. And that allows him to somehow survive. I don't know. I mean, this whole thing around like death and like his rebirth that we've seen, and his connection to Moradin, all seem how like I don't know. It's hard to ignore that connection might somehow be like a portal. I don't exactly know how. This is a thought I've had for a while. It's kind of like a passing. It's hard to express, but like that somehow that could be like a doorway that allows them to save Rand.
Like together.
Well, that he can go into Moradin's dream seemed like it was a nod in this direction that they're more connected than we realized.
Yeah, Moradin was like, "What the fuck? Why are you here?"
And throughout the whole series, there have been all these references to like Rand dying and being reborn. And it does seem like that connection is one way that like he could die and be reborn. I don't know if he takes Moradin's body or vice versa or whatever, but like you could see this. I don't know. It's a totally out there idea, but like I could see how that could work. Kind of like how, or maybe like joining together their souls or something. I don't know. Like the whole why that we don't understand Strider and how that works. That the two souls are like in one body, transmute depending on what world they're in and shit. Like I don't know. We know that there's stuff that can happen around that, and why would that be there if not to be used as an explanation for something down the line? Kind because
Okay.
obviously like how the story's set up. But whatever, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we're so far off from this chapter right now. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
no,
right.
no. This is what people come for, bro. This is awesome.
So Rand's pretty much like, yeah, that's my plan.
Right.
And so I came here to kind of let you know and let you guys plan. I'll meet you at the field of Marilor in a month.
Striker.
I gotta go. Can I go? She's like, okay, you can go. And then he walks out, and all the Aes Sedai were like, how were you even talking? I couldn't even talk. What? Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was crazy. You did great. You did great. She's like, oh, fuck. I need to talk to Elena and Nynaeve, like, now.
Right.
And that's how it ends.
And I mean, so we've now seen two powerful women resist Rand's Taveran pull. Tuon and Egwene.
Yep.
Tuon really felt it and somehow did it because of her belief in herself as being the all-powerful empress.
Yeah. May she live
Because
forever.
Egwene doesn't even seem to have noticed.
Right.
Sorry, Egwene doesn't even seem to have noticed.
Yeah.
Is it
Good
pretty-
point. Yeah. She was surprised.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was kind of curious about, like, is it their connection in the past that allowed that to be the case? Because she sees him as Rand only, or Rand plus plus, like that.
I mean that's her like understanding, but like Tuan doesn't know him at all, and she did the same.
I mean, she did that out of pure strength of will, that she believes she's the empress and that he must bow to her, and she wouldn't go along with it because of her such deep-rooted and ingrained sense of self-identity.
Yeah.
That was how I interpreted it.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Josh, is there anything else in chapter 3?
Jesus, chapter 3.
Right? I know.
No, I think that's all.
Dan and I were like, "Oh, this could be a short show." With
I'm
just
like,
Josh.
it should be shorter. And Ryan's like, I'm gonna derail so much. And I'm like, don't do it.
No, it's not me. It's Josh.
It's
He's
you.
amazing. No,
You're staying the whole time.
no, I'm not.
You're not. It's not gonna be just me and Josh. How boring is that?
Josh is amazing. No, it's all Josh. This is
No.
all Josh.
All right.
I do wonder if Tuon could resist the Zen Rand too. Yeah, like if it wasn't Dark Rand, it was Light Rand in front of her.
Oh, yeah, good question. Yeah.
That's a really good question, Christian Rapper. I wonder that too.
So is Rand like Luke Skywalker in in Return of the Jedi, when like suddenly he walks into Jabba's palace and is like all calm and
Yeah,
okay.
and his transformation.
So chapter 4 is called The Pattern Groans. And it
Yeah,
has a
drink.
pattern, I guess the webbing of a pattern icon right there.
Mm-hmm.
Parent chapter, and he is, there's weirdness.
Isn't that
Huh?
the age lace?
The age of lace. Yeah, the pattern. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I think it's the age
There's
lace,
difference.
but yeah.
All right, age lace.
I don't know. I only work here.
They come across some strange village. Like everything's all blighted out, and there's like some huts made of weird like has palm tree like thatch and weird wood. They're like it wasn't built here. It was just showed up. He's like, well, burn it.
Burn it down.
Burn it. Use the one power. Get rid of it. And then he falls asleep. He finds himself in the wolf dream. He's hanging out with his boys. He's got Oak Dancer. He's got Whisperer. He's got Morning Light. He's got Sparks and Boundless. Ryan, that's like my morning sex routine. It's Whisperer, Morning Light, Sparks, and Boundless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I appreciate you telling us. Everyone,
Your quote sword forms, Dan.
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
you hear morning sword forms? Yeah.
Whisper, Morning Light, and Sparks, Boundless. They're like, hey, young wolf, and they're trying to teach him how
Pound
to hunt. They're like, the last battle's coming, let's hunt. And they find a stag. At first, he doesn't want to run
Okay,
on
so-
4 legs. Go ahead.
So we got to mention the symbolism of him reading the Travels of Jane Farstrider as he falls asleep. I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Missed that.
There's
love
not
this-
that many books in this
I know there's not. There's
village.
um,
It's like reading Stephen King, I think.
so the invitations awaken something deep within him. The wolf he tried to keep locked away. But a wolf could not be locked up for long. It either escaped or it died. It would not stand captivity. I mean, just as a metaphor, like it's like referencing back to the dude who went to the wolf in the cage and was taken over, but it's also his internal struggle, which is beautiful. The wolf lock.
Well, there's also the
Wolf block.
symbology of the grasses hindering him.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
He's
Holding him back.
He's always being pulled back, and then suddenly he becomes boundless. And well, not the wolf, but he suddenly becomes free of this restraints and is exulting in his freedom.
And he's doing that stepper, the thing he did when he was hunting Striker. I'm getting the name. Strider?
Striker.
Striker. I don't even know her.
What is this? It's Slayer.
Slayer.
Yeah.
When they were, when he was chasing Slayer.
Yeah.
And like reaching out, like stepping and then stepping and like going like leagues at a time as he progressed.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Gnome. That was in the village of Jara. So they talk about the hierarchy that he challenges.
Mm-hmm.
They chase down the deer. The bull imagery is pretty funny. I mean,
Right.
There's is it a Taishar to say, quote, and then he was on all fours?
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
He hunts down this stag, the beautiful white stag, and is going to just and is tasting its blood, feels it out, and they stop him. They're like, no, we're not gonna kill it.
yeah, we just savor it.
No, it's just it's like those orcas that play with baby seals to train their babies to hunt and then put the seals back on the beach.
So
Kind
I
of.
do want to mention there's this beautiful line.
Okay.
Dangers for tomorrow. Ignore them for now. Hopper sent, growing more distant. Worry is for 2 legs. I can't ignore my problems, parent thought back. Yet you often do, Hopper sent.
That you often do. You're right. Yeah.
He
It's
also
tough
says,
too.
but I fear this. And he's like, you don't smell like fear.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I guess I worry. He's like, well, you say worry, but you say fear. What? You don't smell like anything.
Right.
Yeah. You don't smell afraid. And worry is not the same as fear. Why say one and feel the other? Worry. It's all that you do.
And you see these images of blackness, which we haven't seen for a while. There's Matt fighting against himself.
Mm-hmm. What
This
is?
is
What do
very,
these
like,
mean?
This is that Apex Twin video. It does
Okay.
look like him wearing his face, all dressed up in different types of fine clothing.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, I think he says.
A
Right?
dozen
So
to
he sees the
10.
lumps first.
There's 3 visions, right?
But he sees the lumps of those steel lumps that he was working on before.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. The lumps
He
vanish
sees
and
those and then they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Matt. He's fighting against himself. A dozen different men wearing his face, all dressed in different types of fine clothing. Matt spun his spear and never saw the shadowy figure creeping behind him, bearing a bloody knife. And he does recognize that, quote, it was some kind of dream or vision of the future. The next thing opens. He saw sheep suddenly running in a flock towards the woods. Wolves chased them, and a terrible beast waited in the woods unseen. And then the third darkness, it was Fael, Grady, Elias, Gall, all walked towards a cliff, followed by thousands of others.
Lemmings.
These are these the same dreams that Egwin has that are prophecy?
Oh, are they like that?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a dream
Are they
too?
true? Are they true but abstract?
They aren't true. They are possibilities, not predictions.
Okay.
They're not foretellings. They're visions of the
Potentials.
way things might be.
When Egwin had her vision of the Shanchina, she was pretty sure that it was prophetic and that it was going to happen. This also seems like Perrin has
Pretty
similar
sure.
feelings, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It says this thing he was seeing, it was some kind of dream or vision of the future. It had been some time since he had seen one of these. He'd almost begin to think they would stop coming. All right, quote. All right. Come on. Coming, he turned away.
Oh, bad form. Bad form.
Well, unless, the towel was that way. I don't know.
The cum towel?
Mm-hmm.
Cum towel.
Yeah, it's like a big old 3 foot by 4 foot chamois.
with the purpose.
With the purpose. Chamois with the purpose. It's great.
That's what I call a sham wow.
Okay, so
Sham wow.
So Matt fighting himself. I mean, Matt fighting himself, and then the bloody dagger. I mean, that sure sounds like Padden Fane with the bloody dagger coming up behind him, right? It's the dagger that Matt was connected to.
Okay, yep.
The sheep running away towards the woods. Something evil is in the woods unseen. He senses himself there in the dream as a wolf chasing something, but something looked wrong with the wolves. What is that about? Fael, Grady, Elias, and Gall all walk towards a cliff, followed by thousands of others.
Ryan, have you ever had Fayo with gravy?
One of my favorites.
It's so good.
At every Denny's, I hit
Get
up
some
the
Fayo
Fayo.
with Grady?
Yeah, yes.
All right, sorry, we can keep going though. Those are very interesting visions, and I feel like we don't really understand them.
No, you're right. You're right.
He is. Yeah. He says at the end that, all right, is this what I got to do to learn? And they say yes. And he's like, all right, fine. I'm going to learn how to hunt like a wolf. And that's kind of how it ends. And then it goes to Galad. Galad is with his White Cloak friends.
Right.
They are camped near the Johanna Road,
Johanna
which
Road.
is where kind of near where parents camp right near the Johanna Road. He is, taking care of, fucking White Cloak shit. They're like, are we really gonna join with the witches? And he's
Ace
like,
and die, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
blah blah. We learn that there are under 20,000 children of the light left, and he's like, you think we can do anything? We need friends. Victory diplomacy. We're gonna do this. He says the monarchs of these lands must respect us, not hate us. And they're
Right.
like, dark friends.
Dark friends.
They're like, we bow to the whims of the monarchs. He's like, I don't know. I'm going to think on it, and whatever I decide is going to be the right thing. Because that's how I roll. They're like, hey, we found some suspicious people on the Johanna Road. He's like, come on. I told you to be cool. We're not those mean White Cloaks anymore. Fine, I'll go check it out. Hey, looks like there were suspicious people on the Johanna Road. They had all these carts filled with shit. And Basil Gill. Basil Gale's like, oh my lord, wiping his sweaty forehead with his fucking thing, probably. He's
Conrad.
like, oh my lord, yeah, we're just trying to sell our shit. Look at all our shit. You want some? I'll sell it to you. He's like, you know what? I don't believe it. We're gonna separate you and find out what's up. And that's exactly what happens. Suddenly, Bornhold's like, hey, you know what? These guys are friends with Paranabara. They're like, do I know him? He's like, you should.
He killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
You killed my father. Bum, bum, bum. And that's how that ends. Is there anything that I skimmed over? I was trying to race through that.
No, let's race through that. It's good.
Chapter 5 is called Writings. It has a snake doing weird shit through that.
Gawain.
It's a Gawain chapter. He's hanging out with his good buddy Sleet.
Yowie.
He's like, he goes up to where the Egwin's at. He's like, hey, I'm allowed in. They're like, nope. Sisters ain't done yet. You sit and wait. Hey, you've been sleeping by the door anyways. You used to wait and you just sit. Found out that there's been some murders, guys.
There's been some murders.
4 sisters killed in this week.
4 sisters killed.
All without orders.
Jinkies.
Yeah.
This one was Kateri Nepview. Ask your doctor if Nepview works. She's of the White Aja. She's been a sister for 20 years. And there's no pattern. There's no rhyme, no reason. There are 4 different Ajas. What's going on? We can't find out. So Gawain and Sleet, they're staring at the car. They're investigating. They're doing.
I couldn't help but
shit.
imagine them all in that like detective hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With big old
Well, got a big
magnifying
old-
glasses.
Yeah.
Looks like there's no.
Sir Gawain Holmes.
Is there a detective beanie?
No.
There's no famous beanie detectives.
There might be like, what did Ice-T wear on?
He's not a famous detective, Dan.
Yeah, he is. He's on SVU, Sexual Victims Unit, Law and Order. Gong gong.
A deer stalker. That's what they're called.
But so here's what the detectives find. They're like, why would they kill with a knife? If I was Black Aja, I would tie him up with weeds of air and then just kill him. Why aren't they doing? There's no gateway residue.
I know.
There's nothing. But Egwin is pretty sure that it's Black Aja, and so he's like, well, the facts just aren't adding up.
The facts aren't lining up.
He keeps looking at his little tiny notebook, flipping little pages on his tiny notebook. You know the tiny notebooks, Ryan?
Oh yeah. Palm size.
Where you can write like 6 words on it, and then you have to flip a page. Yeah, the detective notebook.
I always thought they'd be helpful, but I never used them.
No.
They're only good for like flip book comics.
Yeah, or flashcards.
Dan, can you interpret? Can you reenact a flip book comic right now?
Okay, ready?
Okay. I'm flipping.
And action.
What happened?
It was a puppet getting hit with a pillow.
That worked.
Thank you.
We lost our first time reader. What do we do when we lose our first time readers?
Ryan, I think
We vamp.
Rap battle.
Rap battle? All right, let's get a beat on.
All right, you do a verse and I'll do a verse. And
Why
then
don't
you
I
do a
gotta-
verse and I'll do a verse.
All right, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, rap battle coming to your dome.
Yeah!
Right into your home. I hope everyone's relaxing, everyone's taxing, everyone's dabbing, everyone's grabbing. Grab your parts.
Grab your
Grab your heart.
heart. Grab your heart.
Josh is back. Let's go.
Josh is
Brian,
back.
you use it,
Yo, Gowan and Chobane, they're talking. As they're walking. Get me as a water. I don't want your job. I don't want your water. Oh, we're just trying to solve the crime? It's all we're doing all the time? I got it. There ain't no gateway here. Look at the lock. Someone busted out of here.
Let's go.
All right. No, I start rapping and people are just yelling for Bella, Ryan.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, Bella!
Yep.
All right, I have a Ty Shar quote. Waving the servants to enter for their cleaning, Sleet came.
Nice.
Okay.
Black silk.
Waiting for the servants to enter.
He finds a little thread of black silk. He's like, look at this. Black silk. Black silk. Chubane's like, puts that in the evidence bag. He's like, black silk. This one's going to the night. Yeah! And then it's like...
All right, brother Dan, we gotta let's take this compliment in. Our freestyling has come a long way since the air of the world.
Okay, thanks, St. Lou.
Yeah. Look,
When we trade off, I think it's easier.
I feel that.
You only
Let's
knew
see.
how bad it was before they started the show.
No, yeah, and they're still here, which is thank you.
They're still here, yeah.
Thank you.
So Godwin's convinced it's a gray man or some sort of like magical person, and he wants to tell that to Egwin. He goes and sees Egwin. Sylviana's like, you wait. You
just wait.
He looks down. He's watching the warders. There's a bunch of warders training. He's like, rad. I'm not going there. I killed a bunch of warders, but rad. Egwin comes in. He's like, hey, listen, there's another death this morning. She's like, I know. I'm the Armelin. Remember, dummy? He's like, I need to talk to you. She's like, fine, Gawain, come on in.
All right, let's just cut the chase. Josh, what do you think of this?
All right, what'd you think of it? I guess.
I'm being silly, but she like.
Well, okay, go on.
No, I just like overall feelings about Egwin and Gawain right now.
He tells her they need more warders.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is correct? Where him saying, hey, listen, you should make everyone have a warder. You guys are the most important thing in this battle, and you need protection, and it's dumb and selfish for anyone to not have a warder. Do you agree with that sentiment? Is that good, right?
Yeah, great question.
All right.
It's a tough one.
He says, quote, warders keep sisters alive, and every Aes Sedai is going to be vital important soon. You cannot afford to let them go about unprotected. And she says, perhaps there's wisdom to what you say.
I feel like slavery has to rear its ugly head in different ways. What I mean by
Uh-huh.
that, what I mean by that is
Yes.
the subjugation. Like, there's weird subjugation going on within all of these different power dynamics, within all these different power structures of relationships in the book, right? And the Ashaman, like, forcibly, like, okay, why have we not seen anything from the Black Tower in, like, books? What happened to what's his fuck? Like, what happened to all of the Ashaman chuckling evilly at the fucking Aes Sedai that was sent to them, and like, oh yeah, ask us and who you can bond, you know? Like, we've not seen any of that. We haven't heard anything from the Black Tower. The last thing that we saw, like, several of the Ashaman tried to kill Rand,
Right? Yeah.
and that's never been addressed, like, as to why or what exactly happened there.
Uh-huh.
Clearly, like, there are a few Ashaman who he does trust. Some of them are the ones with Perrin, some of them are the ones with Matt. Like, I don't know. It's
Do you
like
think we're gonna see Rand visit the Black Tower again?
new Rand, like new
Rand, yeah.
light
Zen
body
Rand.
I'd like to think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will he treat Mazrim Time now that Luz, Theron, and him are one being? You know,
Yeah.
Here
One
that
in
Luke
being with
was
the lose.
so aggro, and now becoming one with him made him calm because he
Right.
knows his purpose. Because he talked to his dad. Da.
Da. Oh no. Call back.
Callback. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, so getting back to your warders question, do warders keep sisters alive? Yes. Is there embedded tit for a tat stuff going on here? Perhaps. Would there be men who would be willing to be bound to sisters if they knew that the sisters could poke in and, like, move their brain matter around to make them do things? You know, like, there's so many secrets still. Does Egwene know about that? Does Egwene know that, like, if she has a warder, she can, like, kind of, like, compulse them just by, like, doing this kind of thing?
You mean fingering him?
Fingering him, right? Yeah.
Fingering in the gray matter.
Prostate exam?
Yeah.
So yeah, he is pushing for that. He's like, this should be a non-starter. Everyone. And by the way, when you become a warder, you become kind of a super soldier.
Right.
You don't need as much sleep. You can ride a horse much longer.
But yeah, if your Aes Sedai dies, you die too.
You die too. But I mean,
And there's that. I mean, like, it's
you just want to die. You don't necessarily die.
You don't have to die. Land's not dead.
It's just withdrawals. I mean, I think they're coming up with like a Narcan or
Yeah, right. Yeah.
like,
Some
yeah.
sort. Yeah. Some sort of like
something to stop this
nasal
withdrawals.
suppository.
Yeah, nasal suppository. Exactly. You put a nose up your butt.
So, drinking obligation?
All right. Oh no, right. Shh. Drinking obligation.
Okay. Oh, from
Tashar.
Josh.
Yes.
I'm ready.
She will come for me eventually.
There we go.
Yeah, that's Josh's internal voice. Eventually, this woman will come.
It's a myth.
It's a myth. Yeah, the vaginal orgasm is a myth.
So it is funny that she has Sylviana's riding crop on her desk and she's toying with it while she's talking to Gawain. I mean, there's some BDSM subtext here, right?
She did have that strap there. Yeah. I don't know why is it there? Is it a reminder of the beating she took?
That's a reminder of the beating she took. Yeah.
Okay. we find out that she is setting herself up for an ambush. She's like, Gawain, stop sleeping in front of my door. I want to seem a bit more vulnerable.
Wonderful.
Because I want to catch this person. Masana's here. She's like, I dreamed it, therefore it is true.
Shall be.
He's like, well, that's dumb. She's like, well, you don't trust me. That's why you can't be my warder. Until you can fully trust me, I can't bond you. I just can't do it. You're not worthy. You're not ready yet, Colin. He's like, well, that sucks.
Yeah. No, yeah, Egwin's kind of sucking right now.
He's like, I do trust you. And she's like, all I ask is that you show it for once. And he's like,
For once. Oh, let me go find my dog. Let me go find my dog bed and curl up.
She's using her riding crop on him. I mean,
there's a quick little Egwin point of view where she's like, God, I really want to bond him. God, I want to bond him. I want warder sex.
I want to quote. I want to quote unquote bond him.
But she's writing a letter to the King of Tyr, explaining that Rand wants to break the seals and she wants to stop him. She drinks some tea. Oddly, it wasn't spoiled. She's like, "Yeah, this tea's pretty fucking rad." And Taishar at the end. But Gawain Truckhand, he was coming.
He was coming. All right.
Butt drop. Yeah.
boom.
I like that.
Mic drop.
And that's it. And then we jump to Grendel. Let's jump to Grendel. Grendel is in a cave on a little rock in the middle of the ocean.
Uh-huh.
She has covered her thing with rocks, so you can't get in or out without, except for gateways. She only has 6 of her servants instead of her dozens of things. And still, a messenger arrives.
And she expects it. She anticipated it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like she did everything she could to avoid it, and yet she knew that it was going to come eventually. And there it was. Messenger just stands there with the open gateway, and she just walks through into a black palace, and there's Morden. He's like, hey, you know why you're here, right? She's like, yeah, because of that whole thing. You're here to give me an award or a cookie or something, right? I was rad. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, don't you get it?
Don't you get it, boy?
Don't you get it? She says, quote, Morden, don't you see? And she's like, how would Luce Theron react to all this? He just killed so many innocent people. This is gonna fuck with him. And he's like, I've never thought about this remorse thing you're bringing up. That's a good angle. She says, quote, you told me to hurt him. You told me to bring him anguish. This was the best way. Erengar helped me, though she did not flee when I suggested. Morden. It says, Morden scowled, then hesitated, glancing to his side at nothing. Quote, I am to leave you without punishment for now, he said finally, though he didn't sound pleased about it. Had there been a communication directly from the Great Lord? As far as she knew, you had to go to Shio Ghul to talk to him.
Oh, the cell phone is working.
The cell phone
is working.
Was he one-on-one with the Dark One? Was the Dark One checking it out and was like the producer? This just in. Okay, this just in. All right, I'm not punishing you. Fuck.
I'm punishing you.
I'm not punishing you.
No punishment necessary. No punishment required.
It was interesting and worrisome, she says. I have a really good Taishar here.
Okay.
Quote. She wiped it casually, but her brow continued to bead cum.
Nice.
Want me to say it again, Ryan? She wiped it casually, but her brow continued to bead cum.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing. Yeah. If it like that's like David Lynch level like eroticism,
It
right?
is David Lynch level. Yeah.
I mean, guys, we're talking to Morden. He's got a fireplace on during summer. All bets are off.
And he just makes you come out of your forehead.
You continue to bead cum.
No, I mean it's just a long line of penises depositing it on there, man.
I love that one so much. No, you guys, say what you will. Go ahead and hate. I'm proud of this one. I'm going to go to sleep with a smile on my face, giggling.
And he will. Hey, Dan, let's hurry up. and
She
finish
wiped it
this.
casually.
Dan, we're going to play FIFA after this, so let's hurry up.
Okay. He takes her into a room with so many magical shit. She's like, whoa, look at this. He gives her something called a dream spike. He's like, I got 2 of these. One of these is already being used. You can use this. It's not yours. You can use it. You can also use, it says, what else? There's something else. He says, I can't find it. But
Wait, sorry, there's one already being used. Do we know what that is?
One already being used. We don't know what it is. I don't think.
Okay.
He says, don't use it against me or any of Forsaken, or you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. He had 3 binding rods, a shock lance, a remaker.
A remaker.
Remaker. You say remaker. I say remaker. Remaker. Let's call the whole thing off.
But Grendel's like, she throws her dice. She's like, no, you don't understand. Rand thinks I'm dead. I'm gonna go fucking kill Perrin now. How about that? And he's like listening. He's like, Perrin, he's gonna escape you. And she's like, nah, get him. He gives her this dream spike, says, Abira can walk the world of dreams. And he says, I will lend you another tool, a man with 2 souls.
2 souls. So
He
this is referencing fire, right?
Yes. Well, what do you think? Well, that's what you think.
I mean, that's what I think, yeah.
She says, but he is mine, just as that Spike is mine, just as you are mine. Do you understand? Then he shows her prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird.
And I like the chosen darkness within. That's their fuck me. Oh shit.
Darkness within.
Oh, darkness within.
Darkness within.
Not like light help me. It's dark. Anyways, she's like, what is this book? What did these prophecies come from? He's like, yeah, I knew about this. Like a woman.
Jeez.
The woman and men who spoke these were isolated and held alone. The light must never know these words. We know of their prophecies, but they will not know of ours. She says, but this, it says Abiram will die.
Abiram will die.
He's like, yep, do it. Give me his head and, quote, when you do, anything you ask shall be yours.
I agree with Light Blinded Fool here.
Okay. Yep.
So, what is this? So, I just have one question about it. So, he tapped the top of the dream spike and it vanished from his hand. You will know where to find it? Yes, she said, growing hungry. So, Did it
What
go
the
into
fuck?
Tel'aran'rhiod? I mean, that's the
It's-
only thing I could think is that it's now in the dream world instead of the real world
Yeah.
in the same place he put it.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's not clear at all, but
clear,
I mean,
but it is called a dream spike, so that's not a bad guess.
so does it allow someone you to lock? Like, what would a dream spike do? Like, lock someone in their dream, kill someone in a dream? What is like a
Mm.
Yeah.
allow you to enter into someone's dream without being a dreamer? Or maybe it's in the interstitial space that Egwin goes to rather than in Tel'aran'rhiod, because that's some other thing that we don't understand, right?
Uh-huh.
I'd love to
Right.
see a diagram of the
Right. Yes, me too.
like the metaphysical aspects of the dream world in the Wheel of Time and like how they
Yeah.
all interrelate.
Actually, yeah,
Right.
like a crazy Venn diagram.
Or even just like an ordering chart, like in Gnosticism. Like,
Is there anything else in chapter 5, Josh, that
Nope.
that we didn't touch on?
the foretelling promises that Iavara will die by our hand. You will bring me the head of this wolf, Grendel.
So what? So is it's prophecy? Is
Yeah.
Perrin
And
going
he
to
said,
die?
I'll give you the person with two souls."
Does
And
person
he's-
does Perrin? Well, first, does Perrin die?
Okay, so is this in chronological order? So would Zenrand be even bothered by Perrin dying? Probably not.
Oh.
They're still acting on their image of Rand as Broken Rand, not Zenrand.
Uh-huh.
Wait. Dark Rand.
Yeah, like, Dark Brandon.
Let's go, Rand.
Let's go. Let's go, Rand.
And where
Let's
are
go,
these
Rand.
prophecies from that the light powers don't know? This, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it says right here, but this, she said, rereading the passage, this says, Ibarra will die. And he says, there can be many interpretations to any prophecy, but yes, this foretelling promises that Ibarra will die by our hand. You will bring me the head of the wolf, Grendel, and when you do, anything you ask shall be yours. But mark me, fail, and you will lose what you have gained and much more.
Oh, me too, Dana. I would love that.
Mm.
I don't think by this Jordan Con will be done though, right?
No. Not Georgia Con.
Not
No.
Jordan Con, no.
We got like
Sorry.
8 months, 7, 8 months left. Yeah. 7 months.
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. So it's chapter 6, questioning intentions. It's the blacksmith puzzle. And it is Morghese. And Morghese wants Queen of Andor serving tea. She's fucking good at it. She knows all the intricacies of serving tea. She knows when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, when to run.
Yep.
Perrin is hanging out with like 24 people. There's so many people in this tent. And they're all just asking him. They're talking. He's like, hey, he's talking to the IEO. He's like, well, that took longer than I thought. He's like, well, you wanted it burned, right? We burned it. I don't know what you want,
I don't know
dummy.
what you want.
They're like, all right, Basil Gill is gone. We're gonna have to chase after him. He's on his way to Lugard. We don't know where he's at. There's swamps. Did he take the road? What's going on? We were gonna have to try and find him. They are. Alejandra is like, so you're planning on sending our people back to Janana? He's like, hell yeah, you guys are in my way. She's like, but we swore to you. It says, quote, I did not swear to him, meaning Rand. It says, I swore to you. If Geldon will march for Tarmagaiden, it should do so beneath your banner. And Perrin just like walks out of the tent and says, hey, Will, come here.
Go burn those.
he comes
Go
in
burn,
with this
yeah,
big
burn
old
them
wolf.
all.
He's like, see that wolf flat? Burn them all. Seriously, burn them. I hate them.
This is the most Robert Jordan-y Brandon Sanderson chapter in terms of like gender dynamics.
Oh
and
yeah,
judgment.
yeah. Okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
warped back in time to an RJ novel, like an RJ written novel. In terms of, like, I wonder how much of this was already extant. Like this chapter feels
We don't
almost
know.
like it was fully written, and Brandon Sanderson just like lightly edited it, versus like just from the like way that it flows and like the level of detail and like kind of it doesn't read like a Brandon Sanderson chapter. It reads differently.
I mean, all right, awesome.
I will. Well, okay. I'll hold on to
Oh
my
yeah,
comment.
hold on. No, don't hold on.
No, I will. I will when we get to it. So he wants every banner burned. He's like, you won't ride beneath my banner because I won't have a banner. I'm a blacksmith, and that's the end of it. I've stomached this foolishness for too long. Will stiffened. Haba. He looked like he had been betrayed. Tam's like, son, that flag kind of means a lot to people. You shouldn't fucking do that. He's like, yeah, it means a lot. It means too much. Get rid of it. He's like, and you, Tam, you and everyone else is going back home too. I don't want you around either.
But what's funny is even Morghese, who was previously like calling Perrin out for being a rebel, flying the flag of Manetherin on her land, you know, like even she is like, oh, that's a mistake. Well, it's just so complicated. This chapter,
Right. And in fact, like later, like when Talonvor kind of gives him a nod, she's like, "Don't nod to this rural upstart, this usurper." He is. He's like, yeah. Tam, you're going back too. He's like, I appreciate all your help. You guys were great. But quote, the tasks I was given are complete. I've got these hooks inside of me pulling me back to Rand. Before I can do that, I need to be done with all of you. They're like, okay, well, yeah, that might take days, which you're talking about. And he's like, fuck. They're like, well, let's talk to Rand. Where's he at? The last time we saw him, he was in Kyrian. Parents like, he ain't there. They're like,
perhaps
what?
a man could be excused for taking command. Sorry, good.
No, it's all right. They're like, well, how do you know? And he's like, well, he's wily. He's unpredictable. He won't be there. He learns about the circle, where if you link up, they're like, yeah, we could probably do it then. Balwer's like, yeah, we should probably scout. If we're going to Kyrian, that's a good idea. Let's scout. And in fact, I need some pen nubs. I need so many nubs. Ryan, can you hook me up with some nubs? Do you know a guy with some nubs? So you got nubs and some papers?
I mean, like, I wish you wouldn't like ask me in public, but yeah,
I need some nubs.
I got you. I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, here is a improper use. All right, I'll just read it as it says. Each queen had to make her own way, and Elaine might seem a puppet to her own mother. Why wouldn't you? What's wrong with that? I mean, but is that a compliment, Morghese?
It's a backhanded compliment.
Can be pretty charming and charismatic, and actually useful.
Dead-eyed like this.
Yeah.
Is that your puppet impersonation?
I believe he's doing it.
The story that we are reading today.
That's his Daniel Green impersonation.
Daniel Green, exactly.
I never had sexual relations with that woman.
I never had sexual relations with that woman.
Morghese doesn't even know if her daughter anything. Morghese, we get a sense of like they don't know shit still. It says, quote, was she queen? Had the houses support her? Or they acted against her because of Morghese had done? She's like, oh well, I'm just a tea woman. That I shouldn't.
I'm
even
just
All
a
right,
say
all right, Dan, look at this.
Oh, damn. Nice Gnome Garden.
Gnome Garden. Well done, lad.
I
I
know.
have another one. Will stiffened.
yes, yes, yes.
You better gather those apples before they rot. On them low-hanging fruits.
Aaron turned back into the tent, followed by a handsome youth. Unfurl it, Aaron said.
That one's way better. All right. Perrin sees Talonvor and Morghese, and he's like, "Hey, you two, come in here." Says, "Quote, it's time you were married. We can have Alejandra do it.
Where the
Maybe I
fuck
could."
does this come from?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it.
This is what makes it feel like a Robert Jordan show.
So no, this feels like not Robert Jordan to me. There's no way he would just have Perrin be that grub.
Bold.
I don't know. This to me is Sanderson.
This felt crazy and out of character.
I would love to know if there is an analysis of the book, how much of it was passed on. Like, can we get to the bottom of this? You know, I wonder.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, you're gonna get the old Raffo.
But she does. She's like, hey, how dare you? How dare you call my feelings of love silliness? And she reflects. She says, quote, first Gabriel, then Valda, and now Perrin Elvira. Yeah, she is being controlled by men all around her, and Perrin is no different than either of them.
I do love the metaphor of pouring tea versus being a queen. And she's like, there is a really cool push and pull between the like analysis of ruling, but then also doing it through the means of like the lowly servant pouring tea, but still applying the like rulers, the rigor of thought that she brings to like pouring tea.
Yep. And she notices how she'd never even noticed it before.
Yeah, it's like a new world to her, but like that she still brings her same way of being in the world to this now simple thing. It Kitty. Oh, you're eating. Okay, you're eating a ball. There's a magic to this chapter that even though like it's not that interesting.
Yes.
And there's all like there is this neat like that symbolism and that push and pull and play in that space. I think is beautiful with this chapter. But I do agree that it's weird that Perrin's just like, why don't you two have to get married right now? Shotgun wedding. You know, like,
yeah, and like he's like wrong about everything, like in this
right,
entire
so
chapter.
Does him doing this validate Morghese's criticism of her, or does it show that he's like, is this blunder meant to imply that all of his other leadership is as much of a blunder as this?
Ooh, interesting.
Like that's the part that I mean, besides it just being weird, like that made me. It really pops out as being like, how a crossbow.
I mean, this whole chapter is like everyone's like, hey, like
railing myself.
A crossbow.
Like,
I like that.
The apparent absurdity of it, like, and how weird it is, makes it stand out. Means that it must mean something, right? Like, if Perrin's leadership is such a bald-faced fail in this regard,
right, yeah, he's failing.
What
forward.
does that say? Is it only in the realms where he should quote ask his wife? Like that's a phrase that's used over and over again in this chapter. Like, or is all of his leadership suspect and lacking nuance? And it's like we've seen him do such amazing things with his leadership.
Like, but to what end though?
But to what end? And was that all with the pattern or not? And this actually, like, okay, so calling back to my own self, if rescuing Fael was not a part of the pattern, and that was Perrin acting of his own accord, this seems to indicate that this is Perrin acting of his own accord, which makes me rethink that was not part of the pattern. Like, his fuck up here makes me not believe that he would be capable of going against the pattern and making good decisions and doing something.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
And we also see his Tavernus has no impact here whatsoever.
Right. So it's like it's a weird. I don't know how to process this chapter into my understanding of like Perrin and what's going on. Like, I get that we're seeing it through. Like, I guess we haven't had this phrase on the show in a while, but untrustworthy narrator.
Yeah.
Like, is the fact that we're seeing this through Morghese coloring how we see Perrin in a way that that is different than what we've seen before? Like, is she wearing poop colored glasses, basically?
Yeah, or queen colored
rose colored glasses or whatever,
or queen colored glasses.
Queen colored glasses, like, yeah. But I mean, it's clear that he oversteps his bounds here. But it's like, as a peasant man, sure, like, what makes you think you could command love? It's just so dense.
But also, like, a lot of lives are at stake. He's like, let's just send them all back.
Right.
Like, I'm rid of them. Rid of them is the phrase he uses. Like, I want to be rid of them. Like,
nice.
So with most of the characters, we are seeing progression. And yet here with Perrin, we're seeing some sort of regression.
Regression, yeah. I like this idea, Christian Rapper. I'm hoping that's not spoilery, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Well, no, he's gonna die. That's a spoiler. It's a freaking prophecy, man.
Well, now Perrin's gonna die, apparently. So yeah,
that's what I meant.
Let's go.
What percentage of the prophecies have come true that we know about at this point in the book? It'd be another interesting analysis I'd love to see.
The chapter ends with Maidens of the Spear running up and being like, hey, Perrin, it turns out there's a big army of White Cloaks, like, at our door.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, get those White Cloaks out of your living room.
Fucking cats.
Cats are the eyes of the Dark One.
They are. I feel them boring into me through the board.
Oftentimes using the phrase herding cats to explain complexity.
I use it with the show quite a bit, right? I don't use it.
Fuck off.
Throw it to Baron.
Fuck off, Dan. It's 2 hours 8 minutes. We're doing
Ryan.
great.
We're done with. Yeah. Is there anything else, Josh, in this or any of the chapters we talked about?
If Kay was here, if we had all of our other readers, there would be other things. But I feel like you got everything I had noted. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah. Hey, when it's just you, man, we're gonna forget about that.
This is gonna sound scary, but the chapters next time are so short. We're doing 6, 7 through 12.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's only 58 pages.
Okay.
Dan, you see him write it down?
Is it going to be hard to stop there?
You know what?
I'm assuming every show is going to be like that. Trust me. Like, it's all cliffhangers.
I think this is the good. I think this one works.
Okay.
But this is a good cliffhanger.
We have about 10 or 11 shows in this book left, right?
If that, let's see. There's 56.
So next show will end at 193.
We're doing 60 pages, more or less each.
843. So
Exactly. Cliffhangers all the way down.
Yeah.
yeah, so like 10 shows left.
Yeah,
So
maybe
about
10
700
shows.
pages ish left. 650
For this book?
well, not at the end of next show there'll be 650 pages left.
Beautiful.
And so if we're doing 60 a show,
All right, yeah. Brother Dan is not going to be here for the next show. I'm going to be solo bolo as the lead, going through the books. It's going to be fun.
The chat needs to be extra supportive. Come up with your own Taishars. Help Ryan out.
Yeah. I'm a novice.
Reach things on the top shelf for him,
Yeah. Got these stubby little arms. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time away from everything else you like doing.
are responsible for in the world.
Yeah. Hopefully, no one's like in destitute. No one's struggling because you spent time with us. But hey, if they do, you send them the link.
Hey Lou, it's so good having you here.
Yeah, it always is.
I love having your insights. Yeah, thank you.
It always is. All right, we're ending this bad boy. Everyone, joining us Sundays for Tavern Talk, Tuesdays for the Leafcast. This is brought to you by The Way of the Leaf. Run for your lives. This is The Way of the Leaf.